Now, some of you that have been paying attention might realise or understand that I am quite a fan of Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate 2. Well, it wasn't 2, there's no 2 in there, but it's Commander Legends 2. Technically, they shouldn't have called it that. It ruined everyone's expectations. I love this set, not only for what it represents as like homage to Baldur's Gate 1, 2, and 3, even before we even know what was coming, because Baldur's Gate 3 wasn't out yet, but I also just like a lot of the mechanical identity of the set, some of the cards they brought to the game. There's a lot of interesting and cool designs within Battle of Baldur's Gate. If you want to hear me gush about it for like 40 minutes straight, I'll link in the description and the cards at the end of this video to a video where I talk about how good the set was. This video is a quick talk about the upcoming Venture into the Dungeons with the Battle of Baldur's Gate draft event. That's right, that's the name of the event. That's the name they went with. The name might not be good, but the event is. It's only available in the US and Canada, so I can't get involved with it, which is a shame. But on May 17th to 19th, the week after my birthday, WPN stores in the US and Canada will be doing this 50th anniversary draft and by 50th anniversary, it's referring to the anniversary of D&D existing. It's D&D's 50th birthday, and they're celebrating it with a magical draft of one of the D&D sets of Magic. So far, so okay, it's a thing to try and get people to buy an old product, right? Well, yeah, let's be real, that's kind of what it is, but it's cooler than that. And if you're looking to pick up any single or sealed product, including Battle of Baldur's Gate stuff, use the code Kenobi, check out the link in the description below to coolstuffinc.com, get 5% off your order, get a free foil with every order at the moment, and get one of these Orc Army tokens. Anyway, the cool thing about it is that it's coming with a unique, new, and fresh and original dungeon that is complete new, unique, and fresh for this event. I'm just repeating myself now. Say hello to Baldur's Gate Wilderness, which is interesting because it mentions the Temple of Baal and Sir Sanctum's Steel Watch Foundry at the end, which are actually locations in Act 2 once you get into Baldur's Gate, but I'm not going to be too picky. This is a dungeon representing areas from the first earlier parts of Baldur's Gate 3, the vast majority of it being in the wilderness of Baldur's Gate 3. How the event is meant to work is that you can get 3 boosters of Baldur's Gate to draft with and 1 collector booster to open to add to your pool. But on top of that, all stores will get 4 copies of this. It's an 8-inch by 11-inch giant dungeon, essentially. I say giant, 8 inches isn't that big. That's what I tell everyone, because that's how big my dick is. And then you will venture into the dungeon, and only into this dungeon via the venture mechanic, and you will venture every time you cast your commander too. So you're going to draft Battle of Baldur's Gate, you're going to add collector booster stuff to it, then play with a unique dungeon that you all get involved with, and you all race through with the unique icons that you put on there that you have to denote something. They're not giving away any free icon stuff. You got to like use a coin or a dice or whatever you've got available to denote where you are in the dungeon. And then the dungeon itself does some stuff that we haven't really seen in dungeons before. Crash Landing says search your library for a basic land, reveal it, and put it into your hand, then shuffle. Okay, we've seen that in the initiative before. Then you can Goblin Camp for a treasure token, you can Emerald Grove for making a knight, or you can Auntie's Tea House to scry 3, and I'm already getting an itch to play Baldur's Gate 3 again because of the Auntie's Tea House reference. Defile Temple, you may sacrifice a permanent if you do draw a card, or Mountain Pass, you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. Obanaki Grotto says create 2 1/1 blue fairy dragon creature tokens with flying, Grimeforge? I don't know what that is in Baldur's Gate 3. For each opponent, goad up to 1 creature they control. Githyanki Crash, distribute 3+1/+1 encounters among up to 3 target creatures you control. Last Light In, draw 2 cards. Wreathwind Troll House, roll 2d4 and create that many treasure tokens. Moonrise Tower as instants and sorcery spells you cast this turn cost 3 less to cast. Gauntlet of Shards, each opponent loses 5 life. Battle of the Stars Lab is return up to 2 target creature cards from your graveyard to your hand. Circus of the Last Day says create a token that's a copy of one of your commanders, except it's not legendary. Undercity Ruin says create 3 4/1 black skeleton creature tokens with menace. And then finally, the payoff to all this dungeon running. Steel Watch Foundry actually gives you an emblem for +2/+2 and trample to your creatures, which is pretty crazy. We don't see that outside of Planeswalkers very often at all. And Sir Sanctum, reveal top 4 cards of your library and put them into your hand. Each opponent loses life equal to those cards' total mana value, like a super ninja lady, her ability. And Temple of Baal, creatures your opponents control get -5/-5 until end of turn. A little mini Wrath there. One of the funniest things about all of this is that this dungeon was designed, it seems, by the marketing team without any designers that was actually really knowing. So when it was revealed on Twitter, people were asking, is this legal in other formats? Which of course it isn't. It's a bloody special event thing. But members of Wizards design teams were like, let's check in on that. We're not really sure. It's the first we've seen of it. Now, some of you might be thinking this is some sort of cash grab or an attempt to make people play with old product, and it kind of is to an extent, but I do think tying into something that already exists into the birthday of Dungeons & Dragons, whilst also celebrating and paying homage or reference to a successful video game from last year, isn't necessarily a bad thing, especially when this person here really fucking likes that set and that video game. Also, the collector booster box, the collector booster that's going into each person's draft pool, is being given to the store for free as part of the activation activation as part of the celebration. So the store's getting free resources towards this. I hope stores run it and don't just like pocket the box, obviously. And for those of you wondering, is this new dungeon legal in other formats? No. Some people will argue about it on Twitter, but essentially it's a large pre-release or special event thing, similar to the Horde decks from Theros Block or the hero cards from Theros Block or any of the other cool pre-release stuff they did during Theros Block. All I know is that I really would love to play in an event like this where I get to draft Battle of Baldur's Gate again, but add more cards into my draft pool with a collector booster. I love weird and quirky draft or limit environments that no one's given enough thought to yet, so they can't be like min-maxed or optimized. Just give me some chaos energy or give me a random collector booster as part of my seal pool. I don't really care. I think that's kind of fun. And then on top of that, having this be the dungeon you're in to like theme it around a celebration from last year is pretty sweet. Each store is getting 4 copies of this, the 8x11 large ones, and I really want one just to own and play with, kind of like a plane chase variant for dungeon crawlers and D&D players. On the upside, there's a high-res version of this supplied via WPN website, which I'll link down below as well, for you to download this, print it off, or have it on a tablet on your table or whatever, to allow you to play with this dungeon at home. And if we're ever playing a game of Commander and you want to house rule to rule 0 that you have access to the Baldur's Gate Wilderness as part of your dungeon delving deck, that's absolutely fine by me. If your deck just happens to go into the dungeon as part of an infinite combo and isn't a dungeon delving deck, then you can go fuck yourself. I love this kind of thing. I know it's not really a homage to the good old days. This is a more recent product in people's memory, a product that still some people are sour on, but I think Magic is such a wide and interesting experience and with gameplay opportunities that are wide and varied, that something like this is really cool. I'm just sad that we're not going to see it at our local store. I'm going to drop the idea to my local store owner, but I think it's going to be a hard sell unless it's an official thing, because other people in the store may not be into it. Also, I don't even know if like stores can get hold of Battle for Baldur's Gate boxes in Europe anymore. I'll check in with them. Either way, I just wanted to bang the drum about it because I thought it was a cool promotion for a cool thing for a set that I thought was cool. It's cool. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next one. Ta-ta for now, bitches.